Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, we're going to go through is the new Esper 顺公包, who is named Bidao. Bidao. Okay, so we're gonna go through like his skill key, what he's able to do. I'll do some simple showcase at the end of the video, like how it actually works as well. But we're gonna go through like his 3D model first. Okay, so this is his 3D model. Alright, so the one that's surrounding on his neck is not a worm, it's actually his scarf, and it's a panther design, because in the lore, Shen Gong Bao is actually like a leopard, right? Or panther, sorry. Something like that. And then this is overall his design with a staff. It really reminds me of a combination, I don't know, like Chu Yao, Tricky, a few more other Esper type of feeling on him. And then he have a leader buff of accuracy plus 40%, and then his divinate here, if he has sardonic slice, which is a special buff that he'll apply for himself, he will 100% chance of immunity against only silence. So silence, the first Esper that I will remember of relying is actually Lu Shang, which is very lore accurate because Lu Shang is very good at applying silence from his S3 and S1. Meanwhile, Bidao here will immune to silence as long as he has sardonic slice. So it's more relying on how often are you able to extend the sardonic slice buff. And this is the divinate art. Okay, so this is the divinate art here. And then the S1 is actually pretty simple. It's actually just dealing damage, and then we'll extend all the debuff on the enemy for one turn. It's a very straightforward skill kit. And then if the passive here, alright, passive, it's not a passive, it's actually the skill 2. So it will target on one enemy. You can actually target on any kind of enemy, but if you're actually using on auto battle, this skill will prioritize on the enemy who have petrification first. So if the target has petrification, then you inflict soul snare, but if he doesn't have petrification, then you have a chance to apply petrification on that target. So it's actually just a 70% chance, which is actually pretty decent, but you can actually upgrade it to 100% chance. So you can consider S2 as like a skill for you to apply petrification or applying soul snare. So what is soul snare is cannot be healed, and it will do a true damage when they take their action, and the true damage is 10% of max HP. It's actually an advanced version of poison, because if we compare to poison, right, so poison is they'll take 4% of their max HP damage when they take their turn, and every poison inflicted will let the target receive the healing reduced. But meanwhile, Bidao here will apply the soul snare is actually a 10% damage of his of the target max HP, and then cannot be healed. So it's compared like 4% damage increase to 10% damage, and from 50% healing reduction instantly change into cannot heal. But this this will only affected when soul snare is applied on that target. So if we compare to poison can apply multiple, right? So maybe poison would be more effective, but overall, if we're comparing just one debuff, soul snare is actually an upgrade version of poison. Then S3 here, attack on all enemy and deal some damage, then inflict petrification for one turn, and then gain sardonic slice for 2 turns. So what is sardonic slice? Before an enemy take their turn, and if they have at least 2 debuff, which is a very low requirement, because 2 debuff is actually very easy to achieve, and then he will apply petrification to them. So this is actually a very strong buff. You can consider this as a Hilda, but in the petrification version, because Hilda is when they take their turn and Hilda got her own deep sleep, then enemy will sleep and apply poison. And for sardonic slice here is before they take their turn, if they have 2 debuff, then they'll apply petrification on them. So it's actually going to be a very good combo with Hilda R6, or maybe with Hilda after casting S3, because before they take their turn, Hilda will apply poison and sleep. right? The deep sleep here. Apply sleep for 1 turn and poison for 2 turns. So there's 2 debuff, and then if they actually landed sleep and poison, then you can also turn into petrification. And if you put Zihe in the team here, Zihe every time passive, when you successful apply petrification, then will do true damage to them, and then also reduce their defense. So it's a very strong combo, a very fun gameplay to play with. He can actually combo in a lot kind of different team. He can be a controller, he can be a debuff extender, and he can also be like some sort like a poison Esper from the Soul Snare as well. Okay, then this is the rival rune. It's a 277 speed, wing set, and HP set here. It's a very tanky Esper, 54k HP. 277 speed is actually the same speed with Feng Shun. It's faster than Feng Shun. Feng Shun is what, 276. And if we compare to Sakura, it's faster as well. If we compare to Chu Yao is faster because Chu Yao have 280 speed, but he's only just 3 speeds slower. And if we compare with, let's say, who else is fast in PvP, right? Gabriel. If we compare Gabriel's rival rune with Bidao, they have the same speed as well, 277. But you can compare, like Gabriel have 39 k HP, meanwhile Bidao HP have like 54k. It's like 15k HP higher compared to Gabriel. Okay, then for the reso wise, so R1 here increase the S3 final damage plus 10%. Then R2 effect here, a new effect is added to Sardotic Slice. He will immune to petrification, so enemy Zihe or enemy Bidao cannot stone him. Then if petrification on an enemy ends early, then it will extend this status effect. This status effect is actually talking about Sardotic Slice. It's not going to extend the petrification, it's going to extend the Sardotic Slice buff. So let's say you already apply petrification on them, and then enemies Clara cleanse it, so they no longer have petrification. But because they cleanse it, then your Sardotic, they will help you extend your Sardonic Slice buff, so you get this buff longer, and if they get debuff, they will still get petrification again. So R2 effect here is pretty good, but cause it's a silver rim buff, right? So it means it can dispel. So it will help you extend the turn, which is good. But in a way, it can also get dispel, which is instantly gone. So it really depends on how you judge the value for this R2. I would say it's pretty good, but not something mandatory. It's not like a R2 Esper. R0 is definitely playable already. Then R4 here, if an enemy is incapacitated, which is stunned, then all your allies speed plus 10, which is a very good bonus here, because as long as they stun, your overall ally speed will get faster and get that turn faster, right? Rotate that turn faster. Then R6 effect here, you instantly get Sardotic Slice for 1 turn at the start of the combat. So previously, if you want to get the buff, you have to cast your S3, but for his case, you instantly get Sardotic Slice at the start of the combat, so you can actually make him slow, and then rely on your Esper to apply like all those debuff, and as long as there's 2 debuff, then it will apply petrification. So the R6 is actually very strong. You can actually consider him as a Hilda, but in a petrification way. So Hilda one is Deep Sleep, right? Deep Sleep, and then for him is Sardotic Slice. So overall, I would say he's actually a very strong Esper for mainly PvP content only. PvE doesn't really shine anything for you. Alright, so let me show you some in-game showcase, like how is he gonna perform in-game. But to be honest, nothing too much of testing for him. There's more testing for Mingshuo, which I'll make it at another video. But Bidao here is pretty straightforward, nothing too much to test. It's more about, I'll show you how the petrification works, right? So I'll put Bidao here, and let's say I'm gonna put Chu Yao here. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna go. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I cast S3, I try to stun them. Okay, some of them didn't get stoned, never mind. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast S3, apply debuff on them, so Bidao will stun them. So now they're gonna take their action. Okay, wait and see. They take action, become stun, 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 stun. See, because they have 2 debuff, defend, break, and Calamity from Chu Yao. Because Chu Yao can apply 3 debuffs. So Calamity and debuff fulfill the condition of Sardotic Slice, and then they will get petrification. And throughout here lands a very consistent dispel and also 3 kind of different debuff as well. And now this buff here is actually, you can consider it as a debuff skill because it won't do any damage. So let's say this Esper here doesn't have any stone. If I cast it, then it will stone. This skill cannot miss and cannot resist. Okay, so now I just simply do some damage. When they take their turn, you see they are still on stone because they still fulfill the 2 debuff condition. Alright, so let's say I can extend this. S1 here, S1 again, slap them. Okay, S1. They take their turn, they are still stone. Okay, S1. Okay, now he's able to take his turn because he doesn't have the Sardotic Slice anymore. Unless I have some method to let him cast his S3 more often, or they actually dispel their petrification, so you are able to extend the skill. So I cast S3 again, trying to stone them. Okay, they take the action again, still remaining stone. See, they still remain stone. So it's a very strong control effect. So if they are stone, they will apply Soul Snare. So basically, this is how Bidao able to play or in a control team. So if you actually play Bidao and Hilda in a team, they have a very interesting synergize. Because before they take their turn, Hilda will try to sleep them, and Hilda will try to apply sleep. And because you apply sleep and poison, there's 2 debuff, and because there's 2 debuff, and then Bidao able to trigger the Sardotic Slice to petrification them. So let me show you how it goes. Okay, so now I'm gonna cast my S3 to apply Sardotic Slice on myself and try to stone them. Okay, so some of them they get stoned. Okay, he gets sleep and poison, but this guy gets stoned, right? So I just recast to apply more poison and debuff. So now I can just like fully auto. They'll either get sleep or either get stone. Just infinity trigger. Then you either die from poison or just die from Soul Snare, something like that. So it can be you can consider Bidao is actually a petrification version of Hilda, but they work differently. Alright, so I think they are very similar, but actually working a different thing. One is petrification, one is sleep. And there's a lot of Esper that actually immune to sleep, such as Feng Shun, such as Jinqiu. Like Jinqiu R6, he'll no longer sleep, right? If you take a look at his reso. Here. It will immune to stun and sleep, but so Hilda will not counter Jinqiu. But meanwhile, Jinqiu won't cannot ignore petrification, so he will get stoned. And let's say Feng Shun. Feng Shun have a passive buff from the Far Journey. Far Journey here will only dispel whoever got stunned and sleep, but it won't dispel petrification. So petrification is actually a very strong debuff. And petrification, for those who doesn't know that, petrification is not just a normal stun, it will also cannot reduce your ability cooldown. So if you have Esper like Ocean Wave or your other skill trying to reduce your cooldown, you are not able to do that. Alright, so basically that's all for this Bidao Esper test video. So there's more video I'm going coming out, like Ming Shore's test version, the skill kit, and the other like the Torch Dragon boss. There's a lot of new content for this patch. Right, hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Yakishiba Tales, Kemi, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wardeners, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwox, Rimu, Chorny, Von Hexa, Antonio Winterspoon, Marlene Williams, Eric Mandis, Ian Cragren, Riku, Fred X Iris, Calamity, Rocco Stenzions, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wardeners, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chorny. Thank you so much for your support.